Hi, welcome to the Weldons on the Web. I'm not really sure what the name of the channel is going to be, but welcome. Today we're going to discuss a new Netflix release, Self-Made, the story of Madam C.J. Walker, pioneer in Black hair care. She was also the first self-made millionaire as a female. Did you enjoy the movie, this series?
No.
Okay. It was important for me. I wanted you to watch that show because it's about like an iconic Black person. And sometimes I think that you don't know how much you don't know about like the hardships of being Black. So I wanted you to watch it. And I think that
I wanted to watch it. I brought it up to you before you even knew about it.
Sure. But I think that it did accomplish that. Hopefully you understand more about like what it means to be Black, what it means to be successful in Black.
Yes, I was happy the story was told.
Yeah. So the story is about, like I said, Madam C.J. Walker, who is named Sarah Breedlove. I feel like there's a third name. I probably should look that up. Anyway, and then she begins selling a hair product. Actually, I wrote down a little summary. The story begins in St. Louis, and then Madam C.J. Walker, that's where she began selling her version of hair grower, magical hair grower. And then hearing that there's a lot of opportunity in Indianapolis, her husband and her daughter from previous marriage moved to Indianapolis and start their production there. They started to become very successful. And then she sets out to build a factory, which is going to bring a lot of jobs. And also, I don't think that there had been a factory for beauty products at that time, something like that.
A Black woman never.
Certainly not a Black woman. The Netflix series is not like, it's like inspired by Madam C.J. Walker. So it's its own thing. I wish they had just done her story.
Yeah, don't know what the differences are, but yeah, I'm sure that they took some liberties. Too many.
Well, you know, the Addie Monroe is actually based on Annie Malone, who is a prominent figure here in St. Louis. They have the Annie Malone parade in May. I actually used to have to work at the parade when I worked for the Children's Hospital. And the last year I did it, I volunteered to pick up horse poop in exchange for a free vacation day.
A day?
Yeah. I didn't know that's what I was signing up for, but you know, I was just trying to be a team player. I appreciated the day of vacation. And in the story, they made her sound pretty devious and antagonistic, but I don't think their relationship was really like that. And then if you look at stuff about C.J. Walker, Madam C.J. Walker, they don't mention Annie Malone at all. So I don't know, did she come up with the product on her own, or did she adapt Annie Malone's, or did she steal the recipe? I don't know. I guess I can say spoiler alert, but
yeah, obviously if you're watching the review of the movie, then spoiler alert.
But I don't really know, like, what can you really spoil? There, like, nothing.
Problem to film.
Remember to speak up. Okay, so I'm going to start off with talking about what I liked about the film.
Yeah, it should be quick.
I definitely like the story. I found Madam C.J. Walker very inspirational, especially to me as an entrepreneur. I'm definitely going to put a picture of her in my beauty room, which I don't have. This is like vision board stuff. But I'm gonna put a picture of her there because she really created something. She not only built an empire, but she really changed like our experience as Black women. And I think the series did a good job of showing that she had a big impact and she was like changing lives. I also felt like Octavia Spencer did a great job. I kind of feel like she didn't see the finished product because she might not have like approved or signed off on it. Of course, it's a Netflix production, so it looked great, right? Because Netflix has the money to make stuff look great.
Usually. Yes.
Yeah, but I also feel like 100 years ago, it was a lot easier to make a living. Like, I feel like the cost of living was a lot lower. It's like right now you need like $60,000 to live, whereas in today's money, back then it would be like you need $10,000 to live. That's what it always seems like in these movies because nobody seems to be like eating out of the garbage. People are employing other people.
I think they're just more resourceful, so they could stretch their dollar a lot further.
I don't know. What do you have to say? What did you like about the movie, the series?
Yeah, that's one thing, is it could have been condensed into a movie.
I think it could have been a pretty impactful movie.
We're doing pros. So, yeah, definitely a story that needed to be told. Important and good for people like myself who are ignorant to most of those things. Need to hear that.
Spencer was like, why do you need your hair to grow? Why do they need their hair to grow?
I still don't totally understand that, other than I guess it breaks off, right?
Yeah. Since we've been together, my hair has been natural, and then it wasn't natural for a couple years where I had a keratin treatment, which meant my hair didn't break. So he wasn't there for the struggle like my college years and below.
So that's the number one thing. Octavia, as always, was awesome. She killed it, so that was another highlight. And I would say that, I don't know his name, but the actor who played her dad, the old man, he was perfectly cast and did a good job.
Yeah. From the guy from the Jamie Foxx show, which you don't know, probably.
Do not, but he did a good job and fit well. That's about all I got on the pros.
Okay, so our critique of the thing is that overall it just could have been so much better. And it felt like they let the intern do a lot of it.
Yeah, or like the editor wasn't there, and so they just kind of let things go through.
Yeah.
Or they were trying too hard. But yeah, the intern throwing ideas against the wall, and then someone not being there to like, oh, that's stupid.
Yeah. It reminds me of when I make YouTube videos for my own channel and like the fonts don't match, but it doesn't matter because it's a YouTube video, except that was a Netflix project, so.
No one takes you serious if you use a crazy font. So.
Another reference from The Office. So I'm gonna say one of my complaints and you can complain on it or say one of your complaints. One of my complaints was that the dialects of the Black people did not match. So one Black person is, I can't even, talking like a regular Black person. And then there's someone over here talking like this. And then there's another proper Black person. It's like, what? How did they speak? Why are they all different? Everybody's just literally talking their regular speaking voice. And I felt like more attention could have been paid to that and it would have enhanced the story. Like, why not take that extra step?
I noticed it. It didn't particularly bug me. I'm
Also,
thinking maybe because they're literally from all different areas. They just happened to come to Indy because that was the booming spot. But yeah, it was noticeable to me. So.
And
Yeah.
Tiffany Haddish's character in particular switched up. Like sometimes she would, y'all show ain't gonna be saying blah blah blah, and then there's other parts where she's like, and then we're going to the ball, and I just felt like, first of all, I don't think she should have been in it. I like Tiffany Haddish, but that was not the role for her. It didn't fit, but I think they just wanted her in it. But yeah, I don't like that part of it. Now you know.
Yeah, just adding on to the Tiffany Haddish thing, just awful casting. I don't know who she knows that was a producer, but they messed up.
You know
she
what?
didn't fit in any way, and she did not do a good job.
She's got to deal with Netflix right now because she does Tiffany Haddish and Friends or some comedy show. So maybe they're like, oh, we've got a black woman, let's just throw her into this project.
Yeah, I think she's a name right now. So,
and there's no shade to her. I don't feel like that's her fault because she just came up and did her job, but they should have had someone else do it. Also, there's this scene where she's singing really horribly and really childishly, and I just don't know how that helped the story. There are a lot of things in the production of this that, to me, like, devalued the story.
Yes.
Like, cheapened it. Yeah.
Big time.
And specifically, what are you gonna say? What was the worst part?
It's a tie between the unnecessary boxing ring montage, whatever the hell that was supposed to be. The girls riding around on bikes that she's seen in her mind.
Yeah.
I don't know what that is. And then at some point there was like a pink haze around the screen.
It's like I don't know why they felt like the story needed so much help. We understood it was like a fight, so we didn't need to see her in this completely irrelevant fight scene. It just took away from her majesty as CJ Walker.
There was no nuance in the story whatsoever. Like, you knew what was happening, and it's like they felt the need to clarify it more.
Yeah.
I'm just like, bro,
the point, we got it.
Yeah.
I'm tracking.
It was, tracking. It was awful.
And then there's this element where there's these, like, I guess they're imaginary. Are they imaginary? The pink ladies?
I think they're supposed to be like her seeing like a memory, but for some reason it's I don't know what they're going for. I have no idea what they were trying to do with those.
But all that stuff was unnecessary. It just took away from the story.
Yeah, just totally knocked it down big time.
I just felt like they didn't need to try to make it anything but the story. I can understand saying it was inspired by, so you could take some liberties to, you know, make it seem more like Annie Malone was a competitor. But to me, they made it more like not even a Lifetime movie. To me, it felt like watching a reenactment of, like, when you're watching a crime show and they're reenacting what happened. That's what the movie felt like. Like that low level.
Yeah, and
but a much better production. It just didn't have to be like that.
But that's the thing is, like, the pink, whatever that, like, haze was, that was, like, not even a good production value. Like, it wasn't even done well.
Oh yeah, when the character was, like, going around and was glitchy when she was circling CJ Walker. Yeah,
I don't know what that was or what it was meant to be, but it was a joke.
So I feel like the biggest offense was the music. Well, the boxing. Okay, not the biggest, but the music was a pretty big offense.
Yeah, it was just more the same. Like, it cheapened it and make it, like, usually music should add to a film, and it made it so much worse.
Yeah, it was distracting.
Yeah.
You want to just kind of, like, have it there and enjoy it, but you shouldn't notice music in the background and stuff. you know that show, Netflix has a show, The Circle, that I've been watching. And it's a completely frivolous show, but they do the music so well that it's like helped me to like understand where the drama comes in the show. I don't know what that guy was doing during the production of this thing, but it's just so bad. I also felt like maybe there weren't really any black people involved with the production, because I don't feel like I feel like a black person would have kept it true to black culture. I heard somebody say they wish it was all old music. I don't feel like it had to be old music, but it needed to be like the same genre of music, I feel. Or not even genre, it should have just been black music.
No, I think it should have fit somewhat fit the times. I think that would have been the best choice. But yes, somewhere in the middle choice would have been, I don't know, anything that fit the mood of what was happening on.
You guys, they had the Harlem Shake music in there. That does not go with the story of Madam C.J. Walker. And I feel like, I felt like they made a white movie, that it was not true to black people. It just didn't feel black at all. I just felt like, here's a template. You know how Lifetime has like their standard movie thing. Like, it's just, they're all kind of the same. I feel like this was like that. But they didn't change anything for it being 1920 or 1912 or something.
Started in like 1909 or 1908, something like that. 1908, I think.
Yeah.
But
they didn't change it to be like for that time period and those black people and for black people. Meaning the problems that they were going to have and the dynamics were going to be different than they would be today. Whereas I felt like it was a 2020 version movie for a couple reasons. I felt like it was like the conflict wasn't true to the actual characters, and the themes were very 2020, like believe in yourself and have a dream and women empowerment. I actually felt like I related a lot to Madam C.J. Walker because that's how I want to be, and I feel like that's our dynamic. Now, my husband's not like sleeping with my light-skinned employee, but I think he's definitely the one that's like, I mean, we got a good thing going here. Why do we need to do all this extra stuff? Kind of like keeping her on the ground, but I aspire to be someone that keeps pushing the boundaries when I get in that space. So that's one good thing about it. But I just am disappointed. At one point, what'd you say it could have been?
It could have been?
Yeah.
Had it been done well?
Yeah.
It could have been like a 4.5.
He said it could have been Chernobyl level.
Oh, as far as miniseries goes, yeah. I don't know if you guys watched Chernobyl, but that was fantastic.
It was fantastic. And I think that Madam C.J. Walker would deserve that level of attention to her story. And I think we would have enjoyed it. But I mean, you know, at one point we stopped to see if Tyler Perry produced it, because it was kind of that same thing where he can't speak, but it's like, you could have just taken like an extra week and done a better job. You know, he made that last movie in 5 days. He kept on stage was like we know, we can tell. But at the same time, he still tells the story well enough. It's like still on brand. It's just not done as good as you would want it to be. Whereas this story was done well, but like all bad ideas.
I know it. I get what you're saying. I'm not gonna get on my Tyler Perry train right now.
No, because that's not what this is about. I don't know if they felt like, well, you know, Tyler Perry's movies aren't that good and they still are really good. Like, people, they do well. Maybe that's all we need to strive for. But at the same time, Tyler Perry still like is consistent in one movie. It's like the same, everything, you getting the same level of everything, so you're not like distracted, except in the last one, there's like some guy in the background like drinking air, but
What's this new one?
A Fall from Grace. Maybe we'll watch that next.
0% chance.
But I'm disappointed, and I don't know if they felt like they could get away with it because Tyler Perry gets away with it, but Tyler Perry is of the culture, so his worst day is still going to be like for Black people, whereas I don't know who made this, and I'm sorry if it was some Black people, but it really doesn't seem like it was Black people. But everything you read about it, everybody's saying it was great.
I don't know what you read.
Well, you definitely not reading it, because I'm sure your white friends aren't like ranting and raving about a Black movie that's not about them.
No, but neither is like Rotten Tomatoes or IMDb or
Did you
IndieWire.
Did you look how they rated it?
I looked at the headlines. I purposely didn't read it because I don't want.
What did they say? I mean,
most of it was negative headlines. Like even Octavia couldn't save.
Oh, that's interesting, because what I've been seeing from Black creators and Black people on Facebook is it was awesome, it was great, but I think that I think we're conflating the story with the projects, the production of it. The story is great, and I just think it deserved better than Self-Made. It could have been so much more. Especially with Netflix. 2.0. Oh my goodness. You guys, that movie Loving, was it a documentary? They
did both. There was 2 opportunities to do good by that story, and they both failed.
But it was a boring story. It was important though. And I think, again, people are like, this is important. We're so glad that this change happened for these people. Therefore, this is a good film. But it was not good. It was boring. It was just like footage of them just sitting around.
That was the documentary. That was that. The movie was just the same, but you heard them speak to each other.
I mean, yeah, the movie, yeah. The documentary, we watched it because we're an interracial couple. We wanted to, pay homage to those who came before us, but it was boring and everybody said it was awesome. So, I don't know. So how are we rating this film?
I got one more thing I gotta go.
Okay, go ahead.
All right. So the storylines, the little subplots were just like thrown in there. So I don't know how much of them were because they were like what actually happened. So they felt the need to throw it in there. So like her daughter lesbian story is like so predictable in your face, but didn't bring anything to the story, so it didn't need to be in there, even if that is how it went down, which I doubt is. That's
what to me made it feel 2020.
Yeah,
one of the things.
It's like they felt like they needed to throw that in there for some reason, so that was stupid.
I also felt like Octavia or Madam CJ Walker's character had no character development. I don't know of any time she had an internal struggle.
Yeah, she was just full steam ahead the whole time.
She was a flat character, and your main character should not be flat. So, okay, did you have anything else?
So yeah, just from the second, like again, like everything else, there was no nuance to that lesbian daughter story, and it was just it didn't amount to anything, so it was unnecessary. And then the cheating husband storyline was just, again, the most predictable thing of all time. Like, and it didn't add anything to it. It wasn't significant. And it was just the most canned cheating husband story ever.
Yeah.
Just, you gotta do better with that. So, all right. Anyways, that's
it just could have been, like, you could have just made any story if you're gonna do it like that. Like,
That's what they did. They're like, well, we need a lesbian or gay story in there, so let's just throw this in and not add anything to the actual plot. And then, well, he's got to be a cheating husband, so let's just do it this way, the most generic way possible.
I felt like they should have just made their own movie, you know, like did their own story and let somebody do Madam C.J. Walker correctly.
Who's they? Should
Netflix. Like they should have just not ghettoized her story, and I don't even think that's the right word. They should have not sullied her story with all this nonsense.
Yeah, pretty much all the complaints are trying. I don't even know if it's trying too hard because they didn't try very hard on some of those. But
it's missing the point.
Yeah.
The point is that it's an incredible story, not that we need to be entertained. We need to be inspired. And Madam C.J. Walker was inspiring on her own. And I would have liked to have seen a woman pushing through. I mean, she had external struggles trying to get the investors and dealing with the people around her and setbacks. But what does that look like on the inside? So when I do my version in 2030, please turn out for that.
You're gonna do all this by then, or you're gonna also have a movie made by then? Because that would be something to have done it all and had a movie.
No, I meant I was gonna make my own Madam C.J. Walker movie.
Oh, on her. Okay.
I mean, but I guess I would have had to do all of that at the same time. But
got a lot going on.
Yeah.
All while quarantined, so that'll be cool.
Anyway, tell us your thoughts. What did you think about what we said? Because we have pretty strong opinions and we're like trying not to say them while we were watching, but I can't imagine we're the only ones. So let us know what we got right and what we got wrong. And now we're going to tell you what we rated on 3. 1, 2, 3. 3 stars.
2.5.
2.5. I give it 3. I mean, I could lean toward half because actually the 4th episode, I was like it wasn't keeping my attention even. To me, when I rate books, as I read a lot of books, a 3 is like I could finish it. Wasn't great, wasn't bad. It was like not good, but I still could finish it. Whereas I almost didn't finish it. So maybe 2.5 would be more appropriate.
Yeah, I would say 3 for me would be like, yeah, it's good. It's worth a watch.
Yeah.
So when I go below 3, it's like, nah.
I'm not gonna watch it. I'm not gonna watch it again. So maybe it is a 2. All right, you guys. Our next movie is gonna be What's Love Got to Do with It? Our 1993 smash hit in the Black community. You don't want to watch that next?
It just doesn't get me fired up.
You don't know anything about it. It's about Tina Turner, and it's an important movie to Black culture. So you got to see it. And we will be back with another review. Also, if you have any movies we should watch, any Black movies, let us know in the comments below. Please like and subscribe. Thank you.